At 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the Victoria College Board proposes a new tax rate that could impact property owners.
Victoria Regional Airport faces a construction delay. Why abandoned vehicles are the problem.
And a small Crossroads town gets big recognition for its tourism efforts.
Well, a line of storms passed through the area today. You probably noticed that. Tonight, all of that stormy weather is over. Tomorrow, with that leftover moisture, we're going to pop a few more thunder showers, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes.
And the start of high school football two-a-days are happening all across the state of Texas. We'll highlight Victoria West High School later on in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
Victoria College's Board of Trustees proposes a property tax rate increase during a special meeting this afternoon. The board proposed a property tax rate of 18.32 cents per $100 of taxable value. The current rate for VC is 17.09 cents per $100 of valuation. The board will host a public hearing on the proposed tax rate during a special meeting on Monday, August 11th in the academic building at VC's main campus. After the public hearing, the board will vote to adopt the 2025 tax rate and operating budget. The Victoria City Council is also officially kicking off next year's budget process. At tomorrow night's meeting, they will take a look at the proposed tax rate, set dates for public hearings on the budget, and schedule when to vote on adopting the new rate for the upcoming fiscal year. Also on the agenda, a public hearing on whether to put a collective bargaining item for the Victoria Fire Department on the November ballot.
Illegal dumping is a growing problem in Victoria, and it's a crime. Recently, a mattress was dumped near Ash Street and North Laurent, and a couch was found on North Azalea Street. Residents should report dumping through the Victoria TX 311 app, which sends details to the right city department. Penalties for illegal dumping range from misdemeanors to felonies, depending on the dumped material. City leaders urge quick reporting to keep Victoria clean and safe. For our viewer poll tonight, question is, what do you think is the best way to address illegal dumping in Victoria? Is it increased fines or more surveillance cameras, community cleanup programs, or public awareness programs? It's been leading all day, increased fines, now at 57% with our voters, and at second place 27% more surveillance cameras. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to let us know what you think, and thanks for voting. And now to the fight to redistrict Texas. Some Democrat lawmakers are fleeing to block a vote on redrawing congressional maps that could give the GOP 5 new seats.
Governor Abbott threatening to arrest and expel members if they do not return to the Capitol, as governors in California and New York call out the state of Texas. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest.
Members of the Texas House unable to hold a session to vote on new GOP-favored redistricting maps Monday after Democrats failed to return to the state, denying a quorum.
Members, a quorum is not present.
The governor threatening to arrest any Democratic lawmaker who has left the state to avoid voting on new congressional maps designed to favor Republicans. More than 50 of the Democratic lawmakers left the state. Republicans voted to issue civil arrest warrants to bring the Democrats back, but those warrants have no power outside Texas.
I am disappointed that while these members are here reporting for their duty under the Constitution, others are out of the state, in New York, in Chicago, in places they do not represent, obviously getting lots of attention at this time.
President Trump has called for the redistricting to try to expand the number of Republican seats on Capitol Hill as the midterms approach.
Are you calling then for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
While congressional maps have changed in the past to favor either party, redistricting usually only happens after a new once-a-decade census. In New York and California, the governors vowing to fight back. Governor Gavin Newsom saying California will redraw their own maps if Texas redraws theirs.
The proposal that we're advancing with the legislature has a trigger. Only if they move forward to dismantling the protocols that are well established would the state of California move forward in kind fighting, yes, fire with fire.
California pitching a special election in November if this moves forward. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And in yet another escalation, Governor Abbott directing the Texas Rangers to investigate House Democrats who fled the state, saying any member who solicited or accepted funds to break quorum may have violated bribery laws. Meanwhile, a large group of protesters gathered outside the governor's mansion this evening over redistricting efforts. Democratic Congressman Greg Casar organized what he described as an emergency march and picket in support of democracy. The picketers waving signs and chanting as they walked in front of the governor's mansion. At issue, the Texas House GOP's controversial plan to redraw congressional lines, which would open up a path for a 5-seat Republican gain.
Gusty winds ahead of a line of thunderstorms caused power outages and brought down numerous tree limbs. The winds were estimated to be gusting over 40 miles an hour. This is video of a neighborhood near the intersection of Ben Jordan and Sam Houston. The same winds also caused power outages in parts of Victoria and Calhoun counties. All of the outages have been restored. Speaking of weather, time to check on our weather.
You bet. I was sitting there going, okay, the light's going out or not? Fortunately, mine stayed on, but it was an issue because we had 48-mile-an-hour winds with that line. Now, the line actually began in Oklahoma, and you can see how it went all the way down past our area down to Corpus Christi, and it's falling down apart actually down in deep South Texas. Now, tomorrow we have all this moisture on the ground and in the air, and so we're going to pop a few more showers, but it won't be anything like that activity that rolled in last night. We'll talk more about it and take a look at the tropics coming up in a moment.
Well, the peak of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season has arrived. August through the middle of September is usually the most severe time for cyclones. So far, things have been relatively tame. The Atlantic has not seen a hurricane yet this year. Tropical storm Dexter debuted Sunday night, but it's expected to stay over water and not impact land. Forecasters say they do see signs the atmosphere is starting to become more supportive of tropical development. Several tropical waves could organize over the next few weeks. We'll see what Mac has to say here in a few minutes. Well, Victoria Airport officials say parked vehicles are delaying the start of construction work. The airport director shared the urgent need for owners to remove their parked vehicles at this morning's Victoria County Commissioners Court meeting, saying there are about 10 to 15 vehicles parked in the airport parking lot. They shouldn't be because the airport will be temporarily closing the runway through September 4th for construction, so there are no commercial flights available in or out of the Victoria Regional Airport until after construction is complete.
As lawmakers continue to debate banning hemp-derived THC, some rural Texans say it helps ease addiction, health concerns, and economic woes that hit their communities the hardest. To read the full Texas Tribune article, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
Governor Greg Abbott is congratulating the city of Hallettsville for earning a tourism-friendly Texas Certified Community designation. The recognition comes from Travel Texas and highlights the city's efforts to grow tourism, boost the local economy, and create jobs. The Hallettsville Chamber of Commerce and city leaders say they are proud to promote the area's heritage, festivals, and small-town charm. Hallettsville now joins other Texas communities working to attract more visitors from across the state, the country, and around the world. A Ganado woman is celebrating her 96th birthday, and she did it surrounded by those she loves the most. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley talked with those close to her about the impact she's leaving on others.
Surrounded by laughter, love, and a whole lot of joy, Claire Gutierrez is celebrating her 96th birthday at the Ganado Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, exactly where she wants to be. Claire says the staff feels like family. After helping her bounce back to good health, she now considers them dear friends. Her daughter Regina calls her a pillar of the community, someone who radiates positivity and strength.
To have her one more year is a blessing, it's a gift. And because not all our parents will make it to this age, obviously, but I'm truly blessed that I'm able to have her.
Claire's advice when life gets tough.
The first thing she will tell you when you meet any type of adversity will be just pray, 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 pray.
Administrator Matthew Bain describes her as an active member of the rehab center.
She's a very wonderful woman. She's very inspiring and she's fun to be around. She's an exciting part. She's the kind of person you always want to give a hug to.
Family and friends call Clara a prayer warrior, and they're all hoping to make it back here next year, cheering her on as she turns 97. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Well, happy birthday to Clara. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, Sean Diddy Combs loses another bid for freedom. The judge's concerns about releasing him.
Also ahead, President Trump establishes an Olympics task force, the critical issues they'll oversee in L.A. Week in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, President Trump's special envoy heads to Moscow Wednesday, just days before President Trump's deadline for Putin to make peace or face new U.S. sanctions.
Trump is also warning countries like India and China against buying Russian energy, aiming to cut off funding for the war. The Kremlin, in response to U.S. sub-movements, is urging caution with nuclear rhetoric. Fred Pleitgen has more from Moscow.
Russian and Chinese warships side by side in a major show of force. Military drills and anti-submarine warfare just days after President Trump says he repositioned U.S. nuclear subs following threats from Russia's former president.
And a threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate, so I have to be very careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people.
With the once cozy relations between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin recently taking a nosedive, Trump threatening massive sanctions by the end of this week. There's no ceasefire in Ukraine, Moscow eager to end the nuclear saber-rattling. We're extremely cautious with any statements regarding nuclear issues, the Kremlin spokesman says. As you know, Russia maintains a responsible position. But Kremlin-controlled TV, not so much, frequently touting Russia's massive nuclear arsenal like this well-known host last year.
So, the main question is, will Russia use it? And there is a clear answer. It will use it. The conflict with the West over Ukraine is growing so much that for Russia, it is already a matter of life and death.
And Putin himself put Russian nuclear forces on alert just days after launching what he calls the special military operation in Ukraine in 2022 in response to Western criticism.
Top officials of leading NATO countries are indulging in aggressive statements directed at our country. Therefore, I order the Minister of Defense and Chief of the General Staff to put Russia's army deterrence forces on high combat alert.
On Moscow streets, folks telling us President Trump's nuclear moves and sanctions threats don't scare them.
Трамп сказал, что он хочет лучшие отношения с Россией. Он говорил о торговой сделке, отменить все санкции, прям рейсы между США и Россией. И сейчас он отправил ядерные подлодки в Россию, потому что он сказал, что ситуация была в эскалации между Россией и...
Ну, смотрите, мне кажется, он говорит одно, делает другое и предполагает возможное развитие, совершая какие-то умозаключения о третьем.
И Трамп угрозил сильные санкции, если перемирие в Украине не будет через несколько дней. Вы беспокоитесь из-за этого?
Нет, я не беспокоюсь из-за этого. Я живу в своей стране и знаю, что она способна защитить и себя, и тех, защиту, кому она обещает.
Они бесполезны, ваши санкции. У нас все равно все хорошо.
But even as the Kremlin touts its gains on the battlefield in Ukraine, Moscow claims it's keen to engage in diplomacy with the Trump administration. Fred Pletkin, CNN, Moscow.
Theranos' founder, Elizabeth Holmes, was spotted jogging and lifting weights today at an outdoor gym at the same federal prison in Texas where Ghislaine Maxwell was recently moved. Maxwell, the longtime associate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, transferred from a Florida prison to a lower security facility in Bryan to continue serving her 20-year sentence. Holmes was convicted on charges of defrauding investors in the failed blood testing startup once valued at $9 billion. A federal judge denied Sean Diddy Combs' latest request for bail. Combs is trying to get released from jail before he is sentenced in October. Last month, the jury convicted Holmes of 2 prostitution-related charges, but he was found not guilty of more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Hours after the jury returned its verdict, the judge denied Combs' bid for release. In order today, the judge said Combs has not established that he is not a danger or a flight risk.
President Trump is set to create an Olympics task force for the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. A White House official says Trump will sign an executive order forming the group on Tuesday. It will consist of members of the president's cabinet. The task force is expected to handle security and other issues related to the Games. The LA Olympics are set to start on July 14th, 2028. The U.S. last hosted an Olympics in 2002 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Animal surrenders have spiked recently at shelters across the country, and it's partially due to the rising costs associated with owning a pet.
In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan reports on lowering your pet care costs.
At the animal care centers of NYC in Manhattan, crates line the hallways as the shelter is overcrowded with animals who desperately need a home.
We'd never turn away an animal.
Katie Hansen, the shelter's director of marketing and communication, says they're able to handle about 500 animals, but right now they have over 1,000. Some are able to stay with foster families.
It's been really tough.
She says shelters in the area have been inundated with animals as pet owners say they simply can't afford their pets.
This is really an affordability crisis.
The overcrowding is a crisis happening at shelters around the country, many posting about it on social media, hoping to help animals find a forever home. The high cost of vet bills is also burdening pet owners. The American Veterinary Medical Association says the rising cost of medical supplies, utilities, and pharmaceuticals is causing vets to charge more. But there are things pet owners can do to lower care costs.
If you start them on pet health insurance when they're young and you carry it through their life, that pet health insurance will help you if a catastrophic event happens.
Dr. Michael Bailey says car accidents and swallowing something they shouldn't have eaten are two of the biggest reasons for vet emergency visits. He says make sure your dog is always harnessed in the car. And keeping up with vaccines and preventative medication like heartworm can help their health in the long run.
Once they get it, it can not only be long and expensive, but it can shorten their life.
Ask your vet about payment options, and there are financial assistance programs out there. You can find information about it on the AVMA's website. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're looking at 77 degrees right now. That's not the coolest temperature for the day. Our temperature cooled from 91 degrees at 11:51 down to 70 degrees in the hour following that. So that was our coolest temperature of the day. We only got 3/500ths of an inch of rain out at the airport. A lot of wind, a lot of huffing and puffing, but in terms of actual rainfall, didn't get that much. We'll talk more about what to expect for the rest of the week coming up after this. So a lot of huff and puffing there at about noontime when it blew through our area. Like I said, rainfall totals ranged from a tenth out at Riverside Park to 3,500s at the airport. I'm sure some of you got a little bit more than that. But the complex actually developed at 10 o'clock last night, or Sunday night. You could have seen the complex way up here in Oklahoma, and then it just traveled south all the way down, dropping the heavy rain. Let me see if we can do this. There it goes. And then it crosses I-10, goes through Victoria, heads to Corpus Christi, and tonight it's falling apart in deep South Texas. This frontal system has sort of helped to keep that going. The front actually brought a huge relief to the heat wave in the East Coast. The heat wave is now going to be concentrated over the desert Southwest. One more time, let's see if we can get Doppler radar to re-cue this thing and start with the stormy weather that went right through I-10. Look at that. It's about 200 miles across, and it was a squall line. You can call it that. More specifically, we call it a mesoscale, which is medium, convective, which is thunderstorms, and system. And it basically gets a life of its own, and it continues moving south. And there you can see all the stormy weather that crossed over Victoria. And tonight, all that thunder and lightning is all falling apart down in deep South Texas. So the rain was good. Look at the interesting part. It occurred from East Texas right through Hallettsville and through Victoria. That was the best rainfall. There you see the 3/10 and a little bit more, up to a half an inch, maybe more up in, let's see, DeWitt County. Well, tomorrow with the heat and the humidity, it's gonna feel fairly stifling. If you're going to be outdoors, just know the heat index forecast to get up to 109 because of all that humidity, and we're going to be staying right there in the 109 category for most of the week. All of a sudden, the Atlantic has gotten a little busy. Right here, we have a potential in the next 5 days to develop a system. If it does come together, and we have every indication that it will, it should stay out in the Atlantic, so that's good for us. Meanwhile, we did have Dexter, which organized over the weekend as a tropical storm, and there you see how its path takes it to the northern Atlantic. And of course, the Pacific still continues very busy. And this next one is a little on the scary side because usually they form and they will roll out. This one's going to get real close to the west coast, and so we're going to have to watch it. I'm sure people down there are watching it as well. So what to expect? Here you are on Monday night. We go forward. Your Tuesday morning is looking pretty good. We'll have a few clouds around the area, and in the afternoon, because of all the moisture in the air, we're going to pop a few little showers as the sea breeze comes in. There you see it again, also on possibly on Wednesday, that we'll see some of that as well. So let's take a look at your day planner for tomorrow. Not a bad looking day in Port Lavaca. We're going to be seeing temperatures topping out at about 91, a few showers popping in the afternoon, but overall not a bad looking day. In fact, today, you know, it could have been 99 if we didn't get any of that thunder activity. Isolated showers expected in the afternoon in Cuero and your 7-day. After Tuesday, we decrease on Wednesday, and then it gets plain old sunny and hot with temperatures staying in the upper 90s. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And now, is it time? Is it time to start talking about football? Yes, it is. Here's Max.
Oh, absolutely, Mac, right? Because the Hallettsville Brahmas, they look to avenge last year's losing season here going into this year. We'll highlight what to expect from the Brahmas coming up in sports. Today officially started the first day of Texas high school football, 2-a-days across the state of Texas, and we had multiple teams practicing in the morning and some teams practicing in the evening, try to beat the afternoon heat here in Texas, as we all know. But one team that practiced in the evening for day one was Victoria West Warriors, who last season they reached the regional semifinals before losing to the Bernie Greyhounds there 50 there to 22. So with that loss in their mind, the Warriors season, they returned back top wide receiver target there in Tristan Bernard and high volume running back in Genesis Jeffries. So West head coach Courtney Boyce and running back Jeffries are pumped for this season and believe they can make a deep run to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've had pads on, so we'll be eager to get that going, you know, come the end of this week. And, you know, but it's been a good summer. Guys are in shape. Really good conditioning test today. Excited to see the numbers. You know, a lot of guys are out here being, you know, enthusiastic and ready to go.
We depend on our defense last year, and I feel like we're going to be able to do the same this year. Offense can make mistakes, and we'll know the defense will be able to pick it up.
Now, I also talked to star wide receiver and Tristan Bernard. He mentioned that he'll be getting a lot involved in the offense as well as with Jeffrey. So I want to see how this season starts there for West. They're going to be beginning at Lockhart Lions. It'll start on August 29th. Now also, how about the Hallettsville Brahmas? This team is another team to watch out for there in the 3A ranks. So Brahmas this season, they went 3-8 last year. And so they're trying to pivot away and have a better season going into this year. Again, for the Brahmas under Levi Montgomery, after they started 2-0, but then they fell apart. And the one quarterback to watch out for is a dual threat player is McCole Pakuda. He's going to be a big threat to watch out for. Their defense also brings a lot of leadership in linebacker Colts Edmonds and Aiden Drusett. So the Brahmas are currently there preseason ranked their number 4 according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and they're going to open the season versus the Shiner Comanches on August 29th. Now from the Brahmas over to El Maiden, we begin multiple 2-a-day practice coverage with the Tidehaven Tigers. They have most of their starters returning, and they're ready after in the state 7-on-7 tournament this summer in College Station. So earlier today, we caught up with former Athlete of the Week and star wide receiver / defensive back and Bryce Sleva about how this team feels going into this season, what he's improved for the state 7-on-7 tournament.
I mean, most thing is I feel like we're going to have a good year. We're going to make a run for sure. We got a good team. couple young guys, but we're going to come along good, and I think we're going to have a good season. I think I definitely got, since 7-on-7, I got better as a leader, you know, trying to lead people, just trying to be better for everybody else.
Now, Sleeva's going to be one of those top leaders this season for Tidehaven, like I mentioned, and everyone's going to be back for this team because they're going to open up there, have the home opener as well for Travis Hoffer there in the Palacia Sharks. That will be on August 29th. Finally, the Houston Astros, they face the Miami Marlins in game 1 of a 3-game series, and the Astros get the victory there 8-2. Yonder Diaz led the way with 2 RBIs there tonight, and also Jose Altuve led the charge as well. So the Astros look to get back-to-back wins there out there in Miami. It'll be first pitch will start at 5:40 p.m. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Max, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, not your typical backseat driver, the scaly passenger who got the VIP treatment.
Tuesday is National Oyster Day, a perfect excuse for seafood lovers to celebrate. There are over 100 species of oysters, often named after the waters they come from, with U.S. hotspots along the East Coast, Southeast, and West Coast. Of course, we have our Gulf oysters as well. Whether you like them raw, in a stew, oysters are rich in vitamins A and B12, offering benefits for your brain, heart, and skin. So say you're eating them for your health. If you're lucky, 1 in every 10,000 might have a pearl inside.
But don't bite on that because that's bad for your health. Sometimes animals get into sticky situations like this 2-year-old bear in northwestern Wisconsin that was spotted wandering around with its head stuck in a plastic jar. Wildlife officials finally tracked it down over the weekend, sedated it, and safely removed the jar. The bear was checked for injuries, tagged, and released into a safe wooded area with food and water. It's now doing well and enjoying its freedom, but we don't know if the bear is named Winnie.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll call it that.
Yeah, they'll name him Winnie. Of course, that was a beehive. Is that what the Winnie's
the honey pot,
yeah. This was a plastic jar.
Apparently, that
It
nobody
might have had
read,
honey in it at some point.
Well, I bet it did.
Or he didn't hear about the book and understand that if you stick your head in there, that's what happens.
It's unbearable.
It's unbearable. Well, folks, we expect a few more afternoon showers tomorrow, but they're not anything like what we had today. So it'll be fairly quiet. Most of the day will be all right. The showers will pop late in the afternoon, high of about 95. After that, it just gets plain old sunny and hot for the rest of the week.
All right. Can we call that unbearable weather?
It is unbearable.
All right. Well, it's not often the words "aw" and "alligator" are included in the same sentence.
No.
But there's an exception for this guy. A Florida deputy rescued this alligator from a backyard swimming pool in St. Augustine on Saturday. Wow. While he put up a little bit of a fight initially, as you can see there, he's hissing, trying to break free. The deputy was able to wrangle him up, place him in the back seat of his patrol car. That's pretty brave of him. And safety first, the alligator was buckled in. The deputy relocated the reptile to a nearby pond away from residents. So
That's-
they made sure that he was secure in the back so that he wasn't attacking anybody.
I'm surprised they didn't have the special gator security seat back there to make sure he was okay. I mean, they went to all those bounds, of course, but you don't want a gator running loose in your car while you're driving. So that's probably one of the first things you learn.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hear him moving around and try to look in the rearview mirror to see what he's doing.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Join 25 News now, sunrise 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.